What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the MyBookie YouTube channel. I'm Connor Burns, and this is Between the Lines. If this is your first time tuning in, Between the Lines is your show for sports betting for college football Saturdays and NFL Sundays. We have a ton of games to talk about. The college football slate, it's just okay going into this weekend. Still a couple good top 25 matchups on there, and NFL Sunday is always a great NFL Sunday as well. We got games to bet on, and we do have a special guest today who will be joining us right when we get into these games. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. And joining me right below me is Mr. Rafael Esparza. He is an odds maker at MyBookie, the man who knows the insides of the books. Ralph, how are we doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? First of all, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to have you on. I've been watching all your shows, learning how to play blackjack on a computer. I mean, born and raised, or not born and raised, lived in Vegas in sports books, worked in 13 years in Vegas, covered 13 Super Bowls. So I understand blackjack one-on-one, person to person, but starting to learn a little bit more on that. So thank you.
Yeah, online it gets just interesting. I love the live dealer and everything where it feels like
Yes.
you are actually there. But we've had some interesting videos doing blackjack on here for sure. But we're talking ball today. And a disclaimer before we get into it, we're filming this on Thursday. It will be posted obviously on Friday if you guys are watching this right now. The lines might change, and if the picks change whatsoever, it'll be posted on MyBookie social medias on either X, Instagram, TikTok, any of those, but hopefully nothing too crazy happens. And then before we get into these games as well, we need to talk about my record so far in college football. I am 12-11 so far this year. Ralph, we need some work.
At least you have a better record than Bill Belichick. So
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. We are positive. Just wait till we get the NFL because the NFL is very interesting. But we are positive in college football. Let's get some winners this week. And what better way to start off than Saturday at 11 a.m., number 17th ranked Texas Tech goes into 16th ranked Utah. Utah, they are minus 3-point favorites in this game, and the over-under is sitting at 57.5. Ralph, what you got for us?
it's going to be very interesting because let's face it, Utah's always so underrated. If they were in the SEC, the Big Ten, we would be talking about Utah year after year, but they're
100%.
not. They're in the Big 12. Their defense is always top notch. This number is perfect. I don't see it moving off three. Over here at MyBookie, we're getting great two-way action. I think the total could come down. We're starting to see some under money come in. Wouldn't shock me if we see a 57, maybe a 56.5 sometime by kickoff. The only thing I hate big noon kickoff. If this game was a 3:30 or 6:30 game, then we can see some massive line movement because people will be chasing all day on Friday and Saturday and how they did on other games. This number can move because people love to chase. People love to bet favorite over if it's the evening game. I wish this was an evening game because I would like to see what the line movement would have done on the side. I think the total comes down.
100%. And the interesting part about the total coming down is that these are two offenses that so far this year, they've looked fantastic. They've looked great. Tech has been rolling. Utah has been rolling. But in this one specifically, I like Texas Tech +3 on the road. I feel like this team, even going into the year when they were at the bottom of the top 25, I felt like they were a lot better than people were giving them credit for, than the AP was giving them credit for. I think they go in, and honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to touching their money line as well. But when you get the free points, you got to take the free points. I like Tech +3.
I would wait on the Texas Tech money line because I think Utah money line bettors will come in because they don't want to lay the 3. You could probably get a better price on Texas Tech money line if you wait.
And then now we go over to our second college football game of the day where we have Arkansas going into Memphis. Memphis 7.5-point dogs at home. The over-under sitting at 61.5. Ralph, let them know.
Yeah, here's an interesting one. You would think you look at Arkansas game flew over the total last week. You think of Memphis, if they can control the running game, which they usually do because they have great offensive linemen year after year, you think they're going to put some points on the board. Then why is this total dropping? We opened it up at 62.5. It's now 61.5. Little puzzled on this one. It's all about, can Memphis control the line of scrimmage? If they can control the line of scrimmage and run the ball, then that +7.5, that half a point could be very crucial in this game. I think Memphis might be the play here.
You see, I do like Memphis plus 7.5 as well, but kind of like what you just said, how it has you puzzled that this total is dropping. When you look at how Arkansas has looked this year, when you go and look at how Memphis has looked this year, the thing that stays the same with both of these teams is points. They have been just putting points on the board. I do like Memphis plus 7.5 as well, but I am rolling with the over in this one at 61.5. Give me all the points. That is all we need. Going over to our third college football game of the day, we have another top 25 matchup. Number 22 ranked Auburn going into Oklahoma, number 11th in the country. The Sooners, they are minus 6.5 point favorites. The over-under is sitting at 47.5. Ralph, let's roll.
This one's going to be very interesting because I don't know what type of team Auburn is. I really don't know what type of team Oklahoma is on week 3 or week 4, whatever you want to call it, because I don't call it week 0 when college football starts.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too high for Oklahoma at 6.5. Yes, their defense has improved. Yes, their defense is starting to play SEC defense. But now Auburn coming in, winning some games, there's some momentum. I'm going to hold back because I think this number drops. I think Auburn money, because people are going to say, who's the true SEC team? They're going to bet the true SEC team. So if I can get Oklahoma 6 or less, I might have to take the Sooners. But since you said rank number 22, rank number 11, since I'm an odds maker and I always do that, when you're making your bet, please don't look at the number in front of the team. Those numbers to us mean absolutely zero, nothing. Because Penn State is number 3, and they just got done playing Villanova. I think they just scored another touchdown as we're speaking right now. So sometimes those numbers in front of the schools don't mean that much when it comes to gambling.
100%. And the thing is for me, though, is I agree with what you were saying. And I think that this Sooners team has looked great this year. Against Michigan, that was a rough game, and they looked fantastic. They had Bryce Underwood in shambles out there. Auburn has been interesting. Like you said, we don't know what type of team Auburn really is yet. So I'm going with the sure bet here on this one. And I'm taking the Sooners minus 6.5. This team, if they win this game and they look good in this game, my God, they are off to a hot start.
My kickoff, Oklahoma will be a minus 7 point favorite. So I would grab the 6.5 right now. They're going to be probably one of the betting favorites, one of the parlay favorites, and one of the teaser favorites. So I would say grab this number now. Grab
them right away. And speaking of grabbing, we got more games to grab onto. That was a good one right there. As we have Michigan, 21st, who we were just talking about after getting beat by Oklahoma a few weeks ago. They go to Nebraska, where Nebraska is plus 2.5 dogs at home. The over-under sitting at 45.5.
This one's interesting because I'm just not a big fan of Nebraska. Nebraska plays football like they still think it's 1990 when they were winning games and winning championships, and they haven't won anything since then. But Michigan, boy, they looked really bad against Oklahoma. They can't run the ball. They get pushed around on both sides of the ball. But I can't put my money or my wife's allowance money that she gives me every week on Nebraska at home. This is something I think is going to be a low-scoring game. I see 45.5. You look at that, I'm like, oh, anytime you see a total 44 and between 44 and 46, those are my yuck totals. I want nothing to do with that. I think this game stays under. I think both teams want to establish the run early. I wouldn't shock me if this one's a dull game with an under game written all over it.
You see, in this game, I have a bit of a homer stance on this.
Here we go.
I know it's one of the cardinal sins of sports betting. I hate Michigan. I cannot stand the Michigan Wolverines, and I love Matt Rule. I love Patty Mahomes Jr. and Dylan Raiola. Give me the Cornhuskers plus 2.5 at home to go in there and get the job done. Finish Michigan's season right here. Finish their season for them. And then Nebraska, who knows? The door opens for them if they win this game. The door is wide open for the Cornhuskers if they do finish this.
This was interesting. This is one of those ones I tell people there's certain games you live bet. Yes, you can go over my bookie and live bet. We'll have numbers all through the game. Watch the first quarter. Watch the first 10 minutes. You can see who's going to control the front lines of both offense and defense. This is one of those games where let's take back and do the live bet.
100%. I love live betting these games. Sometimes it's very good and sometimes it is very bad. But on to the next one. My favorite game of the entire day. The number 9 ranked Illinois Fighting Illini going to Indiana against 19th ranked Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are minus 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is sitting at 52.5. Ralph, this is my play of the day, and I need to hear your insight first.
I'm sure the Indiana Hoosier were the flavor Kool-Aid of the month. They were cashing machines last year. They couldn't, all they were doing was ATS against the spread winners. That's all they did last year. And what did they start doing this year again? The same thing. And everyone thought their offense was going to slow down, and it hasn't slowed down for the first 3 games. This one's very interesting. I love the 5.5. But bet it now, because there's no way it's going to be 5.5 by kickoff at 6 or 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. There's no way it's going to be 6 at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be 7 at 6 because I think IU money is going to come in. They're at home. Bloomington's going to be rocking. Grab it now because I think IU, because everyone knows they cashed tickets last year for Indiana. So they're just going to keep on riding it right now, even though I think Illinois is a better team this year. But if you're looking for the number, IU, grab it now. If you like Illinois, I say wait, because all the money's still coming in at Indiana right now.
You see, you kind of broke my heart saying that, Ralph. You kind of broke my heart. Because here's the thing. So far this year, yes, Indiana, they've been cashing at the spread, but they've also played the school of the blind and the deaf the entire year this year. Illinois, they bring back almost all of their starters. Their defense looks incredible. Luke Altmaier is playing lights out football right now. I think that Brett Bielema is the guy for Illinois as well. And this comes from, I'm not even though I am born and raised in Illinois, I am not an Illinois guy. I didn't go to Illinois. I'm not an Illinois guy. This team looks incredible. I am all over the Illini plus 5.5, and I will wait because this line is rising, as you said. And if I can get them plus 7.5, are you kidding me? There is no way that they lose this game by less than a touchdown. And honestly, I think they win outright.
I did say Illinois was the better team, but I'm just saying the betting public is going to bet IU in this game. And if I can get 7, yeah, I think Illinois is a very, very good bet because I can see the winner winning no matter who wins, 4 points or less.
Yeah, no, I think that this is going to be a close one down to the wire. I mean, the fact that they are giving this many points away blows my mind already. And if it does go up to 7, that is just absolutely ridiculous. I love the Fighting Illini in this one. And going over to our next game, which is where College Game Day is going, and I don't know why they aren't in Bloomington, Indiana right now at Illinois, Indiana. That is crazy to me. They're at Florida, who has been pretty disappointing to start off this year. DJ Lagway, my God, we can get into that. At number 4th ranked Miami. Miami, they are 7.5-point favorites in this game. The over-under is sitting at 51.5. Ralph, what you think?
When your last name reminds me of my computer does a lot when I'm on it lagging, then you know you're in deep doo-doo with the Florida games. I don't understand. You nailed it. Why is game day there? I have no clue why they could be at Oklahoma. They could be at Indiana. Heck, they can go to Hawaii. Hawaii's got a good game. You can at least get a good scenery. I don't understand why they're there. I just don't trust Florida. Their head coach is gone. I think if they get blown out, he might be gone after this week. But then they're going to start hearing the John Gruden rumors because that's basically Gruden did say about a couple months ago that he would love to coach an SEC team. And so it wouldn't shock me, but I just think the U has to be the play, but I hate that 0.5 point. And I think we're going to see some points scored on this game. I think the total might be the best play on the board.
Yeah, I could going back to earlier, I could go on a rant about College Game Day for forever because literally when these shows are the best is when they go to different or new environments. But ever since ESPN has the SEC now, it just feels like they're in the SEC every single week. And even though this isn't at an SEC school, you get what I'm saying. It's always an SEC school involved somehow. And I think that they're waiting to go to Illinois. Even if Illinois loses to Indiana and they beat USC, they're going to go to Illinois, Ohio State. But still blows my mind there. Talking about this game itself, I am all over Miami minus 7.5. This line could be minus 10.5. I love the U. It could be minus 14.5, and I still might touch Miami here. I think they're going to blow the doors off of Florida, and it won't be close. And now going over to the last college football game, we have a late night battle at 10 o'clock Central Time. This is going to be later than the Canelo fight last weekend.
Oh.
Illinois going into USC, 25th ranked in the country. USC, they're minus 18.5. The over-under is 56.5. Ralph.
This one's interesting because I can't remember the last time Michigan State played 11 o'clock game Eastern Standard Time, unless they were in Hawaii playing a bowl game, which I tried to look and they never did play Hawaii in a bowl game. I just like the way UFC's our offense has been rolling. Yes, if you look at last week's game against Purdue, I think the delay with the thunderstorm and all that kind of maybe slowed things down. The field was a little bit wet. I think that's why USC didn't look like USC as we saw them for the first 2 home games where they're putting up ridiculous numbers. The total looks really good for me. I think it drops. I think bettors are going to drop it to maybe 55.5, maybe a full point. I'm looking at the total because I just think SC's offense is going to be too fast and too quick for Michigan State. Now, SC's defense is not the best, so I still think Michigan State can put up maybe 14 points or more against them. That's why I like the over, because I think Michigan State will be able to score.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me looking into this game is Michigan State, they are just waiting for that moment, that one game that shifts their program around. So far this year, I mean, they're undefeated. They had an overtime game with Boston College that they ended up winning at Spartan Stadium. And when you're giving me 18.5 points, I just can't say no to that. USC's offense, they've looked great this year. They've looked fantastic, but I got to roll with Sparty plus 18.5. I just think that is way too many points. It's going to be a shootout between these two teams. Sparty keeps it close, and they maybe lose by a touchdown.
A touchdown? Wow.
A touchdown. I think it's going to be
I
a close
have SC winning 10 points or less, but so.
Yeah, I think a touchdown game. And then that is going to do it for my college football picks for the weekend. We got Texas Tech +3. We have the over in Arkansas at Memphis at 61.5. The Sooners -6.5. The Cornhuskers +2.5. The Fighting Illini +5.5. Miami -7.5. And Michigan State +18.5. I'll probably be asleep by halftime, and we'll wake up and see what happened in that game. But now it's time to talk some NFL ball. My NFL record after week 2, Ralph. It's been a brutal start to the year, even though 2-0, maybe my bet on Thursday Night Football, you can track me. I have the under tonight in Bills Dolphins. And if you're watching this, maybe I'm 3-0 so far on Thursday Night Football this year. That would be very nice. But so far, NFL Sundays have been absolutely brutal to me. I need some help here. And hopefully that help starts with the Atlanta Falcons in Carolina versus the Panthers. The Falcons are 5.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under is sitting at 43.5. Ralph, what you got?
One of the biggest line moves so far as we're filming this. This one opened up Atlanta 3.5. Now it's 5.5. So a 2-point move in the NFL with pretty much no significant injuries, just as we saw quarterbacks drop down like crazy last week. Atlanta has lost some games that they shouldn't have. And I think this is one of those games they need to win because they don't want to go back in maybe week 15, week 16. Hey, why are we not in the playoffs, or why are we trying to make a wild card? And they don't want to look back and say, oh, wow, because week 3 we lost to Carolina. So I kind of like Atlanta. I would say get this game now before it does get out of control, because I think this might be a suicide team that people are betting on, a teaser, a money line parlay. I think they're going to use Atlanta and a lot. So it wouldn't shock me if we see a 6. I don't see touchdown favorite as Atlanta, but it wouldn't shock me if we see a 6.1. But I'm looking at the Falcons. I thought I was going to play the over, but I'm tired of the Falcons, pardon my French, screwing me on the over because they can't score points on national TV. So I'm leaving the total alone.
Yeah, looking at this one, I was a Bryce Young believer going into this year. And literally after week 1, I hopped off that bandwagon almost immediately. Give me Atlanta -5.5. Just go in there and do your job. They should beat this Carolina Panthers team by minimum 2 scores. It should be an easy win for the Falcons. Get it done. And then we go over to a really interesting game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who I have one of my futures on, over 8.5 wins. Mike Tomlin, you better do your damn job. In New England versus the Patriots. The Patriots are 1.5-point dogs at home. The over-under sitting at 44.5. What you got, Ralph?
Well, Pittsburgh had momentum until their special teams last week just laid a big egg, and then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off, and they just couldn't slow down the momentum of the Jets last year's Seattle last week's loss. Like the points in this one, points going over Pittsburgh's defense, where are you? It's not Mike Tomlin's defense that I've seen year after year. Pittsburgh can't run the ball, and Pittsburgh's defense can't tackle anything. I think New England's going to be able to put some points on the board. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to put some points on the board. I think this one game goes over the total. A little bit shocked it's still 44.5. I thought by now it might be closer to 45.5 or even 46, just because how poor Pittsburgh has played defense.
Ralph, you literally just put music into my ears. That is beautiful, because my pick on this game is the over at 44.5. Aaron Rodgers has looked pretty damn good so far this year for how old he is. And last week, we really saw that Patriots offense and Drake May go out there and do their job. And that's what we need here in Foxborough. I want to see a classic game between these two. Give me a little flashback to the Big Ben, Tom Brady days. Let's see some points on the board, and let's have some fun in this one, the over at 44.5. And then we go over to the next game at noon on Sunday. The Rams going into Philly against the Eagles. The Eagles are minus 3.5. The over-under sitting at 44.5 points. Ralph, do you like the Birds at this one?
This one's puzzling. Who won the Super Bowl last year?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
And this one opened up at 4.5, correct? And now it's 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
So last time I checked, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles as a home favorite, 7 points or less. You know what Hurts' record is against the spread?
What is
15-2 against the spread. Let me repeat that. He's 15-2 against the spread at home as a 7-point favorite or less. You know when he's a 6-point or less at home as a favorite, Jalen Hurts? He's a perfect 8-0 against the spread. How do you not give disrespect to the Super Bowl chance, laying a soft number at 3.5? I hate people when I tell people don't buy the juice so early, because sometimes you have to pay a little more until you pay till on Sunday. But I would drop this down to 3, because I'm blown away how disrespected the Eagles. On paper, they're the best team. We saw them dismantle Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Swifties or Chiefs. This should be an easy Eagle. I'm a little bit shocked. This is one of those games I can't bet because I think it's just free money.
Ralph, I absolutely love it, because my pick on this game is the Birds minus 3.5. I mean, you can't make it up that they are only 3.5-point favorites in this game. They look like a different team from last year. The offense isn't as flashy as it was last year when they did win the Super Bowl, but they just look like a hard knocks football team. They go out there, they run the ball, they play great defense. Birds minus 3.5. They win this by at least a touchdown. I would even think, you were talking about the juice, I would think about buying this line up minus 6.5. I think they win by at least a touchdown minimum. If you're feeling frisky, go and run that, but give me the Birds all day. And then next up, we go over to our first 3 o'clock game, where the New Orleans Saints are in Seattle against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are minus 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is sitting at 41.5. Ralph, spill it. What we got?
The New Orleans Saints. I can't believe their quarterbacks, they're not 1, not 2, but 3 quarterbacks are getting NFL checks. I mean, it blows my mind, their quarterback room. And Seattle, their defense is really, really good. Game 1 loss was awful. They could be perfect right now in this division. They could be perfect. No losses. I think they have a field day. Their defense is going to have a field day with the offense of the Saints. Yes, they were able to run the ball, the Saints, last week, and I guess the tight ends made some good plays, but Seattle's defense is way better than the San Francisco 49ers defense. And now you're going to Seattle, which that crowd is going to be bumping. Now, taking that, it might be raining that day, so make sure you look at the weather. They are expecting some rain in the morning. They don't know if it's going to lead over to it's a late start, so keep an eye out for that, especially for the total. I think that's why the total is that low. But I like Seattle in this game.
I love Seattle in this one. I mean, I think that Mike McDonald is one of the best defensive minds in the entire NFL. He has that Seahawks defense absolutely humming right now. I think that Sam Darnold will do enough. And like you said, that Saints team, not even just their quarterback room, that team just looks like an absolute train wreck, man. It is terrible. We always talk about a team going 0-17 in the NFL, and 99% of the time it won't happen. The Saints, they'll find a win somewhere. They play my Bears down the line. Maybe that's where they find a win. But my God, they look atrocious this year. Give me the Seahawks minus 7.5 all day. And then we move over to another 3 o'clock game where we have the Arizona Cardinals in San Francisco versus the 49ers, staying consistent with everything. We were just talking NFC West, and now we're going to talk some more NFC West here. I think that this is going to be a great game, regardless of the bet. This is going to be a fun one. The 49ers -2.5, the over-under sitting at 44.5. Ralph, what do you think?
Thursday morning, it was announced that there could be a small chance Brock Purdy plays this one. This one opened up at -1. Now it's 2.5. And people keep on asking me, keep on calling me, hey, if Brock Purdy plays, what do you think the number would be? I said probably going to be like around 4.5. Last time I checked, Brock Purdy's not Joe Montana. Brock Purdy's not Tom Brady. This number is not going to go to 7 just because Brock Purdy played. Because don't forget, they're still banged up. No Kittles. They're still all banged up. And CMC can't do everything, which he has so far. He's still been healthy. But I just think San Francisco is just a better team. They're at home. If they do get Brock Purdy, if not, Mac and Cheese, a.k.a. Mac Jones, played really well against the Saints last week. So I think he knows the offense by now. It's week 3. He's been all snaps the last 2 to 3 weeks at practice. I think the San Francisco 49ers is to play here.
You see, I do kind of like the 49ers as well, but I think that this Cardinals team is not getting enough credit. I like them a lot. I think that they're fun. I think that they're frisky. Their offense looks really good so far. I think that Kyler Murray has had some fun out there. And in this game, I'm taking the over regardless if Brock Purdy is playing or not. I mean, Mac Jones, yes, they were playing against the Saints last week, but Mac looked perfectly fine out there. He slid right in and he did his job. I want to see some points. I want to see a fun one here. And yeah, that's my pick for this game. And moving over to our last game of the show, Sunday Night Football. I wish that it was a different home team in this game because, my God, it would be 10 times better. The Chiefs going into New York against the Giants. The Chiefs, they're 6-point favorites. The 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs, let me add that in, 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs are 6-point favorites in this game. The over-under sitting 45.5. Do the Chiefs bounce back?
He's opened up as 5.5-point favorites, and they moved to 6. I have no idea who bet it to move it to 6. I know you're Patrick Mahomes. I know you got Kelsey there, but he has not looked well at all. He's slimmer than last year, but he's slower than last year, Travis Kelsey. I can't put my mind or my money on Kansas City right now. I'm not saying the Jets are going to easily win it, or Giants. I'm not saying they're going to easily win this game or they're the better team. But laying 6 on the road, what we saw against the Eagles, I don't know if it's something I want to look at. I think we see a high-scoring game. I'm hoping for a high-scoring game. So if I have to watch this game on Sunday night, I want to see points and touchdowns. Lean me to the over, because if I'm forced to watch this, I want to be entertained.
You see here, we've been on the same page basically the entire NFL slate so far. But here's where I'm going to differ for you, because I'm laying Kansas City -6.
Oh, jeez.
This is my last straw with the Chiefs. This is me saying, okay, prove me wrong. Show me that you guys are still the Chiefs. Show me that you are still in there. Go in there and get a big win versus the Giants. This team, they have one of the best pass rushers in football. Patrick Mahomes is going to be running for his life back there. Make some Mahomes magic happen. We've seen it before. We've seen it a million times. Do it. And that Chiefs defense, show up, man. You're playing against Russell Wilson. Give them hell. But that's
Kansas City's got no weapons. Kansas City has no weapons whatsoever. The wide receiver delivered my pizza last week. I mean, I just don't know if I'm going to lay -6. Now, the betting public is going to bet Kansas City. I can guarantee you it will probably see 6.5 because everyone, Patrick Mahomes. Ooh, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes and Russell interception Wilson. I'll take Patrick Mahomes on this one, but I just can't do it.
I gotta pull myself to do it. This is the last straw for me with this Chiefs team. But that's going to do it for my NFL picks. We have the Falcons -5.5. We have the over in the Steelers-Patriots game at 44.5. We have the Eagles -3.5. The Seahawks -7.5. The over, we want a lot of points this weekend in general. The Cardinals at 49ers over 44.5, and the Kansas City Chiefs -6. That's going to do it. Ralph, thank you so much for joining today. I truly do appreciate it. Thank you for the insight, not only to me, but to everybody else out there. Any last second picks just for the weekend that you want to throw to anybody out there?
think it's gonna be a very interesting weekend because there's some games, especially in the NFL, that maybe not that many people are talking about. I'll take your Chicago Bears in Dallas. I'm gonna give the last straw to the Chicago Bears. We had so much hype with them going into this as Caleb Williams, the man for Ben Johnson. If he doesn't have a good game, and let's face it, this Dallas defense is not like it's the greatest defense in the world. Their secondary has been awful for the Dallas Cowboys. This could be one of those ones if Caleb Williams struggles. Now, don't forget, Caleb Williams is not a Ben Johnson guy. He didn't draft him. He has no loyalty to him. Why do you think the Bears signed their backup quarterback to a chunk of change? This is something I think Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense needs to do good. I'm leaning towards the Bears. I'm going to give them my last straw.
Hopefully they do their job. My God, I need it. This city is an absolute shambles right now with how bad this team is playing. Cubs look good, though. Cubs, World Series, it's coming soon.
I hope so.
Thank you all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're here every single Friday at noon during football season, talking all things ball. Come and join and have a great weekend. Let's get some money. Deuces.